everyone. Cool that you're still here. It's dark outside and you still care about how to scale impact with AI. All the ones in the back, come in front. You're still seats. You're going to hear us much better. Happy to be here. Thanks, John, for setting up this amazing day. Thank you, Helmut. He's here for setting up our panel. Jacoby. I'm the co-founder of a transformation consultancy for digital and sustainable change in large corporations and organizations out of Munich, Berlin, and Zurich. And I'm very happy to host this panel because I'm fully convinced that only the deep usage of technology and AI will help us get humanity out of the mess that we've created ourselves. So while we heard a lot about fear, regulation, etc., towards AI here at Davos, now we want to focus on the chances that we have. It's a very great panel, bridging the gap between profits and non-profits. I'll introduce you briefly to our panelists. Naomi, tell us briefly what you do.
Yeah, thank you. So Naomi Moranzoni, I am the head of climate and innovation philanthropy at Salesforce, and I lead a program which is our AI for Impact accelerators, in which we bring unrestricted funding, donated technology, and dedicated pro bono support to help those purpose-driven organizations close that access gap for generative AI.
Thanks so much. Frauke.
Okay, so hello all together. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Frauke Goll, and I'm running the Applied AI Institute for Europe, which is there for empowering professionals in developing and applying latest AI technologies. So what we want to do is really to build up an open access accelerator for trustworthy AI, and therefore, be in contact with all of you and shaping the future.
Bernhard, you go next.
Hi, I'm Bernhard Kovac, the head of Innovation Accelerator at the World Food Program of the United Nations. In my day job, we are supporting startups and nonprofits that use also AI and other technologies to end global hunger, climate action, but also topics like gender equality. 16 accelerator programs and more to come.
Jacek, last but not least, you're the initiator of the panel, actually. Tell us what you do.
Thank you, Robert. My name is Jacek. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Tech to the Rescue. Tech to the Rescue is the world's largest community of tech companies that want to do pro bono stuff with nonprofits. So we're innovating every year. Last year, we launched 450 projects for nonprofits in need. And actually, we initiated this panel because nonprofits are the organizations that understand the social problems the best. And it's really crucial for us to create capacity for those organizations to use AI, because otherwise it might be very difficult to catch up with the situation on this planet.
Jacek, just following up, what's a specific project or a non-profit that you've supported, and what were the problems involving tech? What did you provide as a solution?
Yeah, so there are over 600 of them, but we have Joel from Silex in this room. So Silex is a great Swiss organization supporting refugees in defending their human rights. And what they do is they support refugees whose human rights were violated. They provide them with legal support to defend their rights and to defend them in the international courts. So their resources are limited with human power, right? So the project we're working on together is the vision to actually use generative AI to analyze the cases of the refugees, to automatically write letters to the institutions, and to make sure that one day the refugee whose human rights were broken can basically, with an ease of using an app, submit a letter to international court and defend their rights right away.
Yeah, and obviously just the non-profits wouldn't get anywhere. We need support from the business side. Naomi, could you contribute something to a project such as the one that Jacek just mentioned?
Yeah, so we know that nearly 3/4 of nonprofits and charities say that they need to go through a digital transformation. But the reality is most of these organizations are really slow to adopt that. And it's not because of a will or an interest. It's because, frankly, they don't have the ability, the permission, the funding to try on this technology, to try it out, to experiment, to see how it might be innovative.
And what can you do? Do you give them money or support or logistics? What?
So Salesforce provides, through our philanthropic Anthropic model, any nonprofit or verified charity can have our technology for free, and then additional beyond the initial entry package, they can have everything at a deep discount. What we are doing, though, is we're going beyond that right now with the accelerators to make sure that we give an opportunity for these organizations to think about how they might use that technology to work in a safe space, to be able to experiment. And I have a great example that I want to tell you about. Teacher Development Trust, a really amazing organization out of the UK that's working on teacher training. They're using and developing a generative AI training simulation for teachers built on Salesforce to do for teachers in training what flight simulation did for pilots. Put them in those real-world scenarios and have them iterate and do it rapidly so it becomes a new muscle and new training.
Thanks for the great example, Bernhard. And, you're in another field, obviously food. Is the theory that AI and technology can solve the problem of world hunger, is it exaggerated or is it true?
It is a tough one because, like, of course, before we do that, like, we first need to end wars, we need to combat climate change, and then, yes, AI can play a role, and I believe that it can play that kicker in, like, just like saying, okay, what are the solutions that we can do right now that we couldn't do 5 years ago?
Yeah. Great. Frauke, an organization such as the ones that Jacek mentioned or Naomi, if they run into problems or fears of using AI for ethical reasons, or they don't want to, hurt any kinds of regulation, what would you tell them? Would you encourage them? Would you help them? What could you do?
Yeah, actually. So, of course, we have this problem at the moment that there are a lot of that have fears in using AI technologies and don't know exactly how to do that. So, education is one of the most important points, though, that everyone, and this is what we need and change in the narrative of the communities, really know that that AI is there to stay and that AI can be also used for good. And with that, it is really important to build up knowledge that can be adapted and that can be known to use for digital and technology sovereignty. And with that, of course, because it's important to have safety and security at this point, and especially transparency when applying AI technologies, the regulation part is also a very important one.
Is it something you also do in your accelerator, supporting companies here? And what's a specific example?
So we support both internal teams, NGOs, but also for-profit startups. Just to give a glimpse, so we've used big data analytics to actually optimize transport routes. A tool that has actually saved $50 million for the World Food Programme already, that's reinvested into food for people to eat. A startup to mention, so one of our startups in the portfolio, it's called Bumitra. They actually won the Earthshot Prize last year by Prince William. They use satellite imagery and AI and soil samples to help farmers do regenerative agriculture practices, but also they provide carbon credits. So it's a for-profit model that actually works. And this is what's exciting because, like, some of that is possible manually, but at scale, this is where satellite AI, you can actually do really, really cool things all of a sudden.
Yeah, thanks so much. Jacek, what are your specific plans for this year? What do you want to achieve with Tech to the Rescue? What's your main goal?
Yeah, so there's a big picture in which we need to work together as a community to make sure that we create an ecosystem in which nonprofits can experiment with AI. And it takes three things: access to talent. We are building the pro bono network, and we believe that every single tech company in the world can do at least one pro bono project per year. Second is access to data. We need to work together to make sure that data are available, nonprofits can use them in unbiased way to create solutions. Third way is to make sure that we somehow create a safe environment to experiment. Those all three things will be part of our big program that we are launching in 2 months with partners, during which we want to invite 111 nonprofits to go through transformative AI journey in the 3 years. But the bottom line is that we need to think together as a community how to make sure that not only 100 nonprofits will be supported, how we might support 10,000 nonprofits. It's only possible if we work together.
What could Naomi from Salesforce do to support you here? What's a favor you would ask Naomi for? If you pass him back the mic, you have one wish from Salesforce. One wish from Salesforce. What would you wish as a support from Naomi?
Yeah, for sure. The wish is that we should unite. We should build one easy way for from the user experience perspective for nonprofits to think about, okay, I want to expand with AI what I do, right? If we create one space to go to find all the programs, the tools they need to experiment, then it's way easier than to look for 100 different opportunities. So if we could work together, if we could somehow unite, that would be wonderful.
Can you make it real, Naomi?
Absolutely. I mean, look, the thing is our employees are eager and hungry to work on projects like this. They have a technical skill and a capacity that is often out of reach for our nonprofits and our charities. And if we can match that passion of our employees with the needs of our community organizations, that's when we're all going to win.
Yeah. What about you? Could you jump in and support the project? Or what's your specific case? What are specific cases you're working on for this year?
Yeah, so actually, I think the most important point, as I mentioned, is education. And secondly, Jacek, what you said is the community building. And therefore, I really strongly believe that we need the different disciplines to really work together, also in the development. So we need socioeconomics in the development process, and we really need to combine those topics more together. And especially when it comes to nonprofit organizations, then of course we really need to bring them in the loop, as AI can be really used for good.
Education, awareness,
yes,
inclusion.
Absolutely.
Bernard, thanks. Bernard, to start summing it up, if we do all of this, what was just mentioned, 10 years down the road, how would the world look different if we have success in solving these issues?
No, and let's just hold that thought for a second, right? Like in the audience here, and not just to put the pressure on Naomi here, so it's like, imagine we all come together and we say okay, you're working on AI, you have engineers, you have product managers, you have marketing, and you not only want to support some non-profit cause, but maybe new social entrepreneurs, it doesn't have to be non-profit, it can be for-profit business models.
Yeah.
We totally can. We can end global hunger. We probably also can combat and reach a lot of other things. Yes, we'll still need to end the wars. Yes, we'll still need to end climate change. But this is actually, I think, one of the thoughts where the impact that you can make when we're bringing together the skill sets. If you're an AI engineer, or a marketing manager, what you can actually do is a lot more than just. Yes, please do donate. By the way, donations are also always welcome.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more that you can do.
Summing it up, 1 or 2 words, Frauke, what's your biggest hope?
The hope?
Yeah, when are you successful in your work?
The hope is for me really bringing the communities together and doing in the next step in the education, so we gain technological and digital sovereignty for all and using AI for good.
Great, Naomi.
I have hope in every day when I talk to the partners that I work with. They continue to be astounded from the World Food Program, from organizations like Teacher Development Trust, hearing what you're doing, leveraging the power of all of the town. I feel like that collective momentum is there. Our challenges are insane. They're crazy, they're high, they're big, but it does feel like the momentum and the energy is there, so that gives me hope.
And last call, Jacek. What's your hope for the future?
1,000 successful AI for good implementations would be wonderful.
Okay, thanks so much to the panel. Thanks to all of you. Thanks for listening in.